So yesterday also we had this session, okay? We started with systems setup. I see few of you were not there. Okay, this is for you again. System setup. Please install JDK 17 or latest in your machine. So this is the link to download JDK 17. Okay, Java Development Kit. Download this. And STS, Spring Tool Suite also, you can download from this link, the latest Spring Tool Suite. Now it is not required, but later I'll show you code in IntelliJ also. I'll use IntelliJ also. Okay. In IntelliJ also, I'll show you, but not required now. For now, you can download these two. I'm sharing these links. If you have already, fine. If you don't have, you can download them. I'm sharing these two links here. Okay. Now we started with simple project creation. Okay. How we did that? First project. Once you download with STS, go to file, new Spring Starter project. You should create it. Once again, I'll show you here. Just in 5 minutes, I'll close this discussion. Okay. We'll start interesting topic today. Go to file, new Spring Starter project. Here you need to give your application name. Application name you can give here. Okay. Something student management system. Application name. And here you need to choose build type. Usually we use Maven. Apart from Maven, we have Gradle also. You can choose it if you are comfortable with Gradle. Generally, we majorly use Maven. Packaging type jar or var. Let's go with jar. Jar is sufficient for Spring Boot applications, either standalone or web. Jar type is enough. Right? Mostly we use jar only until unless you have Tomcat server based application. If you want to export your application into Tomcat and run it, even for web applications also, jar is enough because built-in Tomcat will be available in Spring. Okay. Now coming to Java version, you need to choose 17 or latest. And programming, we do code in Java only. Select Java and your required package group ID where all your applications fall into, and your artifact version, description, blah blah blah. Then click next button. Here you have a lot of options to choose. All these are dependencies. Okay, you can select whichever dependency you want as per your project need. I want to develop web application. So you need to search for web. You need to add Spring Web dependency. I am developing reactive based applications. You need to choose reactive web. Or I want to connect with Oracle database. So search with Oracle driver or MySQL driver. I want search anything which you want. If it is available here, you can choose it. If not available, then you can choose it from Maven. Okay, finish it. As of now, nothing selected. Simple project is created. Student management system project got created here. Now I explained about each and every package here in this document. I'll share it with you. Okay. If you see this document, how to create step 1, step 2, what build options you need to choose, Gradle or Maven. Maven, packaging, jar or var, you can choose. Programming, Java or Kotlin or Groovy, choose Java. Java version, anything should be fine, 17 or latest. Next step, you just click on next button and click finish. So on the next button, if you want to select any dependencies, if you want to work on core module, no dependency selection is required. Okay. So basically, if it is a standalone application, I don't need any web or any other dependencies, sir. Just a simple Spring Core library is enough for me. So don't select anything. No dependencies required. For this project, no dependencies selected. But if you go to MAVEN dependencies, lot of jar files added. If you see Spring jar files, Spring testing library added, Spring expressions library added, Spring Core, Spring context. These two are the main jar files. Spring Core jar files, Spring Beans also. Apart from this, you can see Spring Boot, auto configuration, starters, lot of other jars added. We will discuss about them. And logging added by default. So by default, logging also coming. By default, JUnit also coming. Without adding anything, by default it is providing Spring Core jar files, Spring Core, comma, auto configuration jar files, JUnit, log4j, all these are added by default. Okay, fine. Default jar files are added, Spring Core jar files. Importantly, Spring Core added here to work on core module. Other than that, nothing required. Okay. Going forward, we will see what else dependencies we have, what we can add. In the next step, click on finish button. If you don't want to add anything else, just click on finish button. It will generate a project. In that project, what about this first source folder? This source folder, if my screen is visible, okay, I'm just zooming it. Okay. In this source folder, source main Java, we have one package, whichever package we have given in during project creation, and one demo application.java. So inside this package, we create all sub packages inside this main package. Sub packages means while working, right? If it is a web application, you may need to create web package, services package, DAOs, DTOs, entities, utilities, blah, blah, blah. Based on your application, whatever packages you want, you can create all of them inside this package. Good. Then what about this demo application.java? Once your project is ready, I implemented everything, all are ready. From where I should start this project? Do I need to put this into some server and start it? Not required. Just go to this demo application.java. If you open this class, you can see if you open this class, right? You can see this class contains one Java main method, public static void main. Just you need to start that. Start your main method. That is the application starter. Okay. So when you start it, application will start. That's it. Starting Spring Boot application will start from this application.java class only. So this is the main method class. From here only your application will start. Okay. What about the next two package resources where I have application properties? This is the place where we put all the configurations. By default, Spring will provide lot of configurations inbuilt. Apart from that, if you want to configure connection properties or mail configurations, JPA configurations, or port numbers, anything you want to configure, you can configure it from properties file. It can be for any environment. Okay. So we will discuss them in profiles concept, how to manage all these properties. Okay. Again, 3 more discussions will happen regarding this properties itself. Okay. In detail, we will discuss them. And what about this source test Java package? Whichever classes I implemented above, for them, I need to write JUnits here. Is it mandatory? Not really. If your project recommends to write JUnits, you need to write all your JUnits here. Sample JUnit class also provided. Who created all this? By default created. When I created Spring Boot starter application, all this created by default. And one POM file. In this POM file, you can see all the Maven dependencies, whichever dependencies we selected, and which Java version we are using. And build type, is it Maven or Artifactory? You need to add all that configurations we do there. That's it. Then once you click on finish, as it generated, right, go to your main method. See, based on my application name, it is generated student management system application.java. If I open this class, I can see here a main method, public static void main. That's it. Just click here, go to run as Java application. You can see application got started. What is this, sir? Something we read it as a Spring. Yes, this is banner. Spring banner, Spring Boot banner. We can customize these banners. Okay. So this is just a welcome banner. You just ignore it. And you can see which version we are using. Which version we are using. If your application is in production and if you want to understand which Java version is using, go to your build, go to your Jenkins build console. There you can see which version we are using. It's okay. If you have project POM file, we can check from project POM file also. But if we get a chance to see console, from console also we can understand which Spring Boot version is being used. And here you can see started student management application in 3 seconds. That is good. No errors reported. No errors reported. Application is started. So this is the basic Spring Boot application creation steps. This is how we need to create sample Spring Boot project. Okay. You everyone should able to do this. You all should able to do this without any complaints, without any errors. You should able to create it. So if you all can download JDK and STS, and if you install, I'll help you to start with the first project. Going forward, you can practice daily based examples, whichever I share here, right? You can easily practice it. So how many of you having this STS ID in your machine? And how many of you really know how to create this project? Or
I
tell
have it, Mr.NAVEEN.
you have?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to hear from others who don't have.
It's my first session today, so I don't have STS. Um, I have like Eclipse and stuff in my system.
Can
So
you please download STS?
I will. And I also missed yesterday's session, so I'll go check your first
Yeah, you
session
can
also.
check the video. In yesterday's
Mhm.
session also, we discussed the same thing. Just how
Oh,
to,
okay.
download and install and how to
Mhm.
start with first project.
Right. So this
So
seems
this,
like straightforward thing, so it should be fairly easy, but I'll try. I'm trying right now.
yeah, please. So that I can help you with first application. So going forward, it will be easy to you to practice on daily base examples. Okay. Yeah. And what about others?
Yeah, this is my first session, so I'm yet to do all the setup. So yesterday's class, where can I find that recording?
Yeah, it is there in YouTube. They will usually upload it in YouTube, and you must have received that in your email, whichever email you received it, right? This meeting link. There you can see that. It's okay. What I will do, okay, going forward, post our sessions, daily videos I'll upload into a blog. I will be creating one blog for every session. Okay. So I can show you a blog which we used. Okay. Not available here. Maybe I'll show you in next session. We have custom blogs. Okay. I'll be creating one blog. If you people interested in creating, I can help you. Open source tools only I will use. Need not to invest single rupee. Okay. I'll upload these videos into YouTube. Private videos, protected videos I will upload into YouTube. Then that protected video I'll embed in web application. I'll create one simple web application. I'll embed that and I host it in Git pages. I'll be sharing this Git pages application with you. There you can watch videos, okay? I'll do it today and share it with you. Yesterday video, today's video. Once you guys confirmed, okay, you are allowed to take it. Yeah, yes, Manish.
So this is I'm sure you said it yesterday. This is like 35 days course, right? So
Yeah.
after this course ends, because I know core Java, I'm comfortable with core Java. I know
Mm-hmm.
some JDBC,
Mm-hmm.
like, but I'm not very comfortable with Spring and stuff. So in
Mm-hmm.
this course, after I do this course, I'll be able to, if I do all the practice that you suggest, I should be
Mm-hmm.
able to be comfortable with microservices and Spring, because that's what I expect from this course.
Yes. You can comfortably drive your project. Okay.
Okay, that sounds reassuring.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. I'm really looking forward to it, you know. And also one more question. Do you recommend using Mac or Windows?
It's up to you. If you have Mac, you can use Mac.
Okay. I have
Yeah.
both, so
Then use Windows.
okay, all
If
right.
you get somewhere stuck, easily I can help you.
Okay, awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Also,
Yeah.
I see the prerequisite for core Java.
Prerequisite is Core Java. Correct.
So okay. So that means like it's expected that students have some knowledge on core Java, or are you
Obviously,
covering?
yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, my question
Yeah.
is, are you covering any core Java concepts here, or
No, no,
you're
no, no.
directly studying? Oh,
No,
okay.
again, that's a version, right? If I go back to Core Java, that's a different context again. I'm not going to, cover Core Java, but at least in Core Java, right? If you have basics, how to create object, right? What is Java class? How to create object, right? How to use collections and how to handle exceptions. These are the major concepts that we should aware. Exceptions handling. Okay. If you have IO knowledge, maybe may not required, but these are the basics at least you should have or you should aware of
So
these concepts.
servlets and JDBC, all those concepts are necessary or no?
If you have, that is fine. Otherwise, I'll be, brushing up basic JDBC here. Servlets are
Mm,
not required. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. And generally, when we have, basic Spring framework, Spring MVC, maybe Servlet knowledge may required there, but now not required. Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
because
hmm,
I have, like, I haven't explored advanced Java. It's like normally people do core Java first and then they go to advanced Java where they study
yeah.
servlets, JDBC, all that stuff in detail, right? And then they
Hmm.
move to Spring, Hibernate, microservices. So I have like extensive experience in core Java,
Hmm.
but there's a gap because I haven't
See,
worked or
if you
much
are
in
aware, that
servers.
is fine. Even if you don't aware, also nothing to worry. It's not a rocket science exploring JDBC now, right? Even during our sessions, also easily you can understand why I'm writing that particular query, how it is connecting with database. If you can able to understand that, that is sufficient. Again, not required to go back to core level.
Okay, thank you so much.
Nowadays, nobody expecting that much core level. If you explore here on top of Spring Boot, and if you get comfort on Spring Boot, and if you're able to drive the development, that is sufficient. Okay. Yeah. So this is what minimum expectation from your side. Okay, minimum, at least basic concepts of Java, how object creating, because that is only we are going to discuss how Spring will create object, basic Java, class creation, how to deal with methods, what is the constructor, bare minimum things, right? Constructors, these basics at least you should have. If you need any help, let me know. I may share you some tutorials or help to you. Okay, I'll be sharing these videos via my Git pages. Okay, I'll host there and share it with you. Okay. Anyway, this will happen post your confirmations. Once I get the confirmation mail IDs, right, I'll be sharing with them. Yeah. So first project we created. Then what about the next discussion? In next discussion, okay, we understand how to create a Spring Boot application. We understand how to create Spring Boot application, sample Spring Boot application. We understand. The next focus is how to create classes here. How to create classes, how many types of classes we create here. Okay, how to create classes based on our system requirement, right? Sir, my requirement is student registration page. Okay, for that student registration page, how to write classes here, or how many classes in general I need to create inside this application? Where should I place my web pages? Okay, that web concept we will discuss later. But at least the Java classes, where should I create my Java classes? As I explained yesterday, this is the main package where you need to create all your sub packages. Where you need to create all your sub packages here. Then in that sub packages, you need to create all your classes. You need to create all your classes. Okay, how many sub packages I need to create, sir? How many sub packages I need to create here? How I can understand how many packages do I need to create there? I'll explain now. I'll explain now. So, okay. So I want to implement a simple student registration page. This is my requirement. Student registration page. I want to create simple student registration page. How many Java classes I need to create? Okay. Anyway, front end will be there. You need to have a front end. Front end HTML or Postman. If it is a microservice, you may get request from Angular. Or if you are testing in your local, you may need to use Postman or Swagger. Anything we will use. Either separate front-end application or HTML based web file or Postman or Swagger. Forget about it. So this is for UI. We'll discuss about this UI later. So here are my UI fields. Here are my UI fields. Submit button I have. When I click on this submit button, the submit button, which class will read this data? Which class will read this data? As per MVC architecture, right? We are going to use MVC architecture and create classes. If you don't know this MVC, you will create classes. You will create classes randomly. That is not recommended. Randomly, you will create here and there. That is not recommended. Your code is not readable, not maintainable also. So please follow MVC architecture, model view controller architecture. Okay, as per model view controller architecture, this is front end. We can call it as view. Whichever you see here, this is view. Okay. Sir, we are talking about classes, right? How to write classes inside this package. This is the context, right? So where should I write my classes? Okay, I'm going there. So this is my view. Now, first class you need to create is controller. First class you need to create is controller. Here your Java classes starts. First class is your controller. First class is your controller. So you need to create a controller. So how to write that controller, sir? You need to create a package first here. com.icica.customer banking something CB. But depending on your project, you need to create this main root package. Under that root package, com.icica.customer banking. This is my main root package. Within that package, create web package. .web. I am creating sub package. As I said right yesterday, within this root package, create a sub package. You need to follow. Sir, I don't want follow. So if you don't want follow, that's a different story. Please follow this. Within this root package only, create this sub package. When you open this location, right? If you go to this project location, you should see packages like this. Inside com, inside source main package, inside main Java package, inside Java com, ICICI, customer banking, web. So inside CB, you will see this package web. That is how you should create. Okay, sub package. I created one web package. What should I put there, sir? Controller. As per MVC, view means front end. This is covered. Now coming to controller. C means controller. So this is the one which reads data from front end. Controller classes are the components which reads data from front end. So whichever data coming from view will read by controller. Controller job. Why I am writing this class? To read the data. Read the data which is coming from front end. Read view. Whatever data coming from front end, we read it here. Very good. Once we read, what it will do? Maybe it need to do validations, whether this name is correct or email is in right email format or not, mobile number is correct or not. Those validations we may do here. What next? That is the controller responsibility. It need to read, then it need to validate maybe your data. Front end jobs or whichever data coming from front end, it need to read and validate. Basic validations it need to perform. After that, where should I write my business code, sir? I want to save it in database. Shall I write my JDBC code here? Shall I write my business logic also here? Not recommended. As per MVC, not recommended. You should not add that much logics inside controller. Controller meant for read view data. That's it. Okay. So you are saying we need to create a web package. Inside that web package, we need to create a controller, right, sir? Yes. You need to create controllers here. Okay. What next? Once you read data, you need to handle your business logic. As this is simple registration, you may not have business logic. But if you are performing any business operations, business calculations, let's say if it is a calculator, I am sending value A and B and I want to addition that or I want to multiply that. All that additions, multiplications, whatever you have, you need to write inside this business class. Or you can call service class or business logic, service logic you need to put here. So you can have your service logic here. Basic, arithmetics, basics arithmetics and all you can put here. Basics arithmetics, plus minus, whatever operations you have, all the business logics you can perform here. Who need to send data to here? Controller. Your controller should pass whatever data coming from front end, it should pass to service layer. Sir, you covered view, you covered controller, Are you talking about model now? Is this model? Yes. Service is part of model only. Service is part of model layer. So here, what else we have, sir, apart from service? If you want to persist this data in database, if you want to save this data into database, you need DAOs, or we call it repositories. Okay. Earlier days, we used to call DAOs. Nowadays, we are calling repositories. Repository or DAO. Data access object. Repositories. You can call it as repository. So repository layer also we will have. Here we will have all the CRUD operations. CRUD, create, retrieve, update, delete. All the CRUD operations we handle here. Save operation or update operation or delete operation. All the CRUD operations we put here. So the data service layer should send it to repository layer to handle CRUD operations. We call these two combination as a model layer. We call these two as a model layer. View covered, controller covered, model layer covered. View controller model. View controller model or model view controller. Read in whichever way you want. Generally, front end coming first, then controller, then model. So you are going to create one web package for controller. You are going to create one web package for controller. What about the remaining classes, sir? Service class you told and the repository class you told. Where should I create? Again, you need to create two more packages. New package com.icsa.cb.service package for your business logic. One more package. One more package dot repository. Sometimes we use shorthand names repo or repository. Anything should be fine. See, these three packages falling under main root package. These three packages falling under main root package. If you go to folder structure, you can see that. If you go to folder structure, you can see that inside this com.icsa.cb, we have now three packages: web, service, repository. Inside which package? Inside main package. This is the root package. Okay. So I am telling you, inside web you can have controller classes. Inside service you can have business class. Inside repository you can have CRUD operation classes. This is how you need to create your packages for your requirement, and you should start creating objects. I mean classes. Web classes, service classes, repository classes here. Just by following MVC architecture. What if I don't follow MVC architecture? Your code is not readable, not maintainable. If you don't follow this architecture, right, your code is not at all readable, not at all maintainable. There are a lot of problems that we can discuss, but follow MVC architecture. If you want to read, explore today about MVC architecture. What is MVC architecture? Even you can use Google or ChatGPT also. What is MVC architecture? What are the benefits with MVC architecture? What if I don't follow MVC architecture? What benefits I will get with MVC if I follow? If I don't follow, what are all the problems? Okay, I'm just keeping this image also in this word. Okay, I'm sharing you this word, so you can get all day 1, day 2, day 3, all images, discussions, everything I'll put here. Okay, so that easily you can refer this document and you can recall whatever we discussed. How to create packages. sub packages under main package. Yes, Manish.
So could you explain the validate option in controller? So if you're validating stuff, aren't you performing business logic? So
Yeah. If you want to perform business validations, you can have a separate utility class and you can perform.
right.
I got your question. So, a kind of validation is a kind of business you are assuming, right? If you have such business validations, you can perform inside service also.
Okay. So what is validate doing there in controller then? What is that
Yeah,
validation?
front-end validations, you know, right? If I feed
Okay.
some wrong data via my input page, it should not accept. Instead, it
Right.
should say, please enter a valid email. Instead of email, if I enter some mobile number without any @.com or .in, it is not in a right format, right? Of course, front-end people will handle it in front-end itself. If they don't follow, we should handle from back-end side also. Okay?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, we will see them. I mean, in Spring Boot, they all are not difficult. With simple annotations, we handle them, even validations also. Okay, I'll cover. We are not at there. My intention is I want to make sure all of you, get understanding on MVC architecture. Okay, so okay, so how to create sub packages in the main package based on requirement. Based on requirement, you can create. If you are creating a web application, example, student registration page, So I'm creating 3 packages inside my main package, com.icici.customer banking. I'm creating a web package. This is my root package. Inside this root, I can have child packages. Web for controllers. Service for business logic. Repository for DAOs. I can call DAOs or CRUD operations, whatever it is. Along with this, we will create few more packages also. We'll discuss them. But main importantly, these 3 are the main layers in MVC: controller, business, and repository. So you can refer this MVC architecture, why that sub package is required. You can refer MVC architecture. Again, why MVC? I would recommend you to explore. Okay. So tomorrow I can explain you, but you can explore. This is easy. Okay. Why MVC I should follow? Rise question like this. Okay. Why MVC is required or why MVC I should follow. Question yourself and explore it. Yeah, Manish.
Well, I'm sorry, I forgot to.
Okay. Yeah. So you can explore that. But now coming to this package, I created this packages. What should I do inside this packages, sir? You should write your classes based on your requirement. Okay. Now coming to these packages, inside these packages, okay, sir, I will write a class. What will happen next? How it is handled? If I create a class here, what will happen? Okay. Now we need to jump into Spring Core discussions. Okay. Spring Core discussion. Now in this topic, I'll cover main concept called bean creation. Bean creation. First concept and important concept. Bean creation. Beans creation. Okay. which beans we create in Spring, Boot, or in Spring, whichever classes you write, whichever classes you write for your requirement, for your requirements, whichever classes you write, we call them beans. Means all your classes, whichever classes you write, all classes are beans. Whichever classes you write. Do you mean controller? Yes, you can call controller bean. Controller is one kind of bean. Your service class also one kind of bean. Your repository class also one kind of bean. What else we write, sir, apart from controller, service, repository? We write lot other classes. We will write entities. Entities which are actually JPA repositories, or you can call ORM classes. Okay, don't worry. We will discuss about that ORM when that discussion starts. Okay, so these are the JPA classes. So you can call it as a bean. This is JPA bean. And we write DTO classes, data transfer objects. These are also beans. We write some utility classes when you want to perform validations or when you want to do something else apart from this controller services. We write utility classes. So utility also is a bean. Mailing logic or something, email logic, something I want to write. You can choose util. There you can write. So bean creation. Bean creation means how to create these classes. How to create these classes. This concept agenda is how to create these classes. How to create these classes. Either controller. I'm not going to give you a simple student bean and this is how object creation. What you will do with student bean? You can't fulfill your requirement. Bean means all these classes are your beans. When you understand, how to create controller, how to create service beans, repository, entity, DTOs or utilities, you will get whole idea how to create an entire application. Okay. So how to create these classes and how Spring will handle them. Once you understand how to create this bean class, we'll see how Spring handle it. I created bean, sir. What is the purpose of it? For a requirement, I created them. Then who will run them? How you will run them? Do I need to configure it anywhere? Or how they will, give the solution for my requirement? That's where Spring will help you. Okay. Spring will help you to, once after bean creation, right? Spring will help you to create objects. Spring container, IOC container, Spring container will help creating these beans objects. These beans objects. IOC container will help you to create these beans objects. What if it don't create these objects? You cannot utilize the framework features. As we are going to fit our classes into Spring framework. Sir, I know how to create Java class. Why should I use Spring framework? If you use Spring framework, you need not to worry about lot of features that you manually implement, right? That will provide by framework. Thousands of features framework will provide. So you need not to do anything. Just you come and sit and write these classes. That's enough. Okay. So without a Spring Boot, creating your application is like a manual car, driving 90s or 80s car. With the Spring Boot, your application is like driving a autopilot car. That's how I can differentiate. What is provided in autopilot car? You can consider like Tesla. It's a autopilot car. That is frameworked, means automated. Lot of features given. Just you need to sit and set your destination. That's it. If it is a manual car, you need to drive. Okay. So lot of features as Spring Boot as a framework it is providing that automatically will apply to your bean classes. As I'm going to create all these my beans using Spring only, Spring Boot will provide features. For controller features it will adapt or it will provide. For service level features. For repository features. For entities features. So wherever Spring Boot help is required to us, right, it will provide. It will provide lot of help, right? With the Spring Boot controller creation, like you started, right? Servlet's knowledge is required here, not required. Earlier days, right, when Spring Boot or Spring Framework, these are not available, we used to create these classes using servlets. Lot of code we need to write. We need to create a servlet class, extend HTTP servlet, then override init, to do get, to do post, to destroy. Is it really required? Nothing. But we used to do that, and we used to configure servlets into web.xml file. Lot of structure creation, lot of show, lot of build-up. Nothing is here. No build-up, nothing. Just go to controller, write your method with the post mapping or get mapping. Bus, you are done. You need not to do even single configuration here. In servlets, if it is going to take 1 hour, here it is 1 minute. Just create class, configure your method. That's it. So how Spring handling it? Is that sufficient? Whichever method you are writing to handle? Yes. Spring Boot internally designed in such a way to handle it. They frameworked in such a way to handle it. They frameworked in such a way to handle it easily. They made our job simple. They taken that pain during framework creation. So we need not to bother. Same way services, repositories and all. So we will understand how to create these beans. So what do you mean by beans creations are here? Why should I, understand all these? Yes. For each, right, for each class, specific annotations given here. I want to work on controller. For controller, specific annotations given. With that annotations only, we can create beans. At the rate controller, we use this annotation on top of our classes. Or REST controller. Feeling stressful or is it okay, guys?
Okay, Naveen.
Am I, yeah, or am I giving too much content in one day? It's okay. We can stop if you guys want. We can stop and continue tomorrow also. But it's okay. Every day we will discuss the same. Okay. Every day we'll see these annotations. Don't think that today we completed or I missed this minute. Should I able to or can I able to recall it? Not required. Again and again and again. Same thing. Same story. With a different context I'll discuss, but somewhere you can catch up easily. Okay. Repository. For entities, we will use @entity. For details, nothing is required. No specific annotation is required. Generally, we use DTOs inside controllers only with the request to body kind of thing. So let me allocate this annotation to DTO. Why should I leave it? Request body we use to load data into DTOs. Okay, you can configure request body. Utility. For utilities, we can use @. Utilities are again two types. Configurations, or let me create separately. Okay. Configurations. There are configuration classes also. For simple utilities, you can use @component. For configurations, which is very, very, very important, we will use configuration with the combination of bean. So these are the main important annotations. These are the main important annotations that we will use to create our beans. That we will use to create our beans. while working, right? While creating these classes, these many types of annotations we have, we use them. We use them. I can, I'll tell you why those annotations required. What if I don't put these annotations? That we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. I'll talk about each annotation, okay, and how to put them in our application. I'll give one sample project, which means I'm not going to complete this concept by tomorrow, but to give you confidence in this concept, I'll give you one example, end-to-end example. But later we will dive in depth into each layer. Okay. So I'll give you the whole context of bean creation. I'll give you whole concept of bean creation. Then we'll talk about containers and all, okay? Are you guys following me?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would recommend is, so please get registration done, and I'll be sharing these videos, okay? I'll be sharing these videos through our page only. A dedicated page will be shared with you. Even you need not to go to YouTube or somewhere and worry about these videos. On that page itself, you can able to read all this content, images, everything I'll append there. Okay, a nice website, I'll create it for you and share it. What I need is, if you guys can stay for 2 minutes, I'll share you one WhatsApp group link. You people need to join there so that you will see all updates from me in that group. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'm sharing you that link. You all need to join there, okay? Do you have any questions? Hello guys, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah. Okay. First install Spring Tool Suite. Hope you have JDK. If not, you need to install. Starts with the system setup. You need either Windows machine or any Mac machine, it should be fine. I'm showing you in Windows. Windows 11 or Windows 10, anything should be fine. In this machine, first install JDK.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, install JDK.
Yes.
JDK 17 or higher, or any latest. Install JDK 17. Second thing, STS, Spring Tool Suite. Okay, let's start with JDK 17. I'll share you the links. You can install. You can go to Archive website. From there, you can download it. It will ask you to log in. Windows 64 installer or Windows MSI installer. Download anything. So if you click here, okay, it is started downloading. So download JDK and install it. I'm sharing you this link. I'll put all this in this document and share it with you. Download JDK from this website and install it. It is almost downloaded. Hope I have JDK 17. I will verify. If I don't have, I will install. I have JDK 1.8, 17. So I need not to install. You guys can install it. So download. Once you download, how to install? Just a double click on this file. You know, right, how to install softwares into Windows machine. Just double click on the software. It will ask you, do you want to install? Click on yes. Then automatically it will get installed. The next thing, you download Spring Toolsuite. Go to this website, springio./tools. Here you can find this Eclipse version, Spring Tools 4 for Eclipse. Spring Tools 4 for Visual Code Studio. You can ignore this one, okay? We will use Visual Studio for front-end coding, like Angular, React. Very less people will use this for Java. Java people most times we will use Eclipse only. Okay, so Spring Toolsuite is the Eclipse based version. Download this one. Windows 84 or 64, both it will support. Click on this. It will download latest STS. Spring Toolsuite software, almost 700 MB. Okay. Once you download it, you will get it into your machine. So as already I have, I can work on it. So I have STS here. Somewhere in my D drive. Or C drive. So same way, install Spring Toolsuite also. You will get one desktop shortcut. Once you click on that shortcut, right, it will open. It is similar like Eclipse only. It is not different from Eclipse, but it is having Spring support. I need these two softwares first into your machines. You need to download JDK and STS. So STS from this link. I'm copying this link also. Okay, you can download this too. I'm sharing you links also here. You can download. I shared you in chat. You can open your chart and just click on them. It will download. First download them. Then next install it. Once you install JDK 17, go to C drive and verify whether this software is installed or not. Go to your C drive, program files, Java, and check here. JDK 17 will come. Okay. Hereafter, you can start using STS. Install STS and you can create new workspace. By default, it will give you your default workspace here. So you can modify that workspace name. You can give any name. You can start giving your name here. I'll give my name, Naveen. Spring, December 2024. Launch. So just like that, you create workspace and click on OK. It will start. Here you can start creating Spring Boot projects. Any project, right? Any project in Spring which you want to work. Microservice project I develop, sir. Or a simple project I'm implementing, sir, standalone application. You can implement anything. A web project I want to implement, sir. Anything you want, you can come here and you can start creating it. First, I will start with the simple Spring project. Here, if you see, you have a lot of options given. Create Java project, MAVEN project, create new Spring Starter project, import Spring, create project, import projects. A lot of options you have. You just ignore them. Go to File, New, choose Spring Starter project. Go to option 3. Go to option 3. I'm just ping. I'll give you this document step by step. You can start coding it, okay? Create Spring Boot application. How to create? Step 1. I'll just document them. First application, step 1, create Spring Starter project. Step 1, you have to create Spring Starter project. Go to your file, option new, Spring Starter project. What next? Step 2, click on next button. File new, Spring Starter project. Select it. You will be getting this window. In this window, you have to choose here type should be Maven. If you are using Maven for deployment, mostly, right? Mostly many projects will use Maven. Some projects can use Gradle also. Okay. We do use Maven. Select Maven. This is build tool. You need not to worry. By default, this STS will have this internally. You need not install separately. And here packaging jar or var. Mostly we choose jar only. And Java versions, latest versions. Only it will show here. Select latest version. In which programming language you want to code? Java only. And here your package names. In which package all your projects fall in. Sir, I'm working for company ICICI. So we will label it com.icici, something like this. And your application name, artifact, or your application name. You can put any name. Sir, it is my banking application. Customer banking. So customer banking. Version. First time I'm developing. Snapshot. And describe you about your project. And package name com.icici. Something application name, customer banking, CB. That's it. Then you can click on next button. Select project required, build option. What is the build option? We have Gradle, comma, we choose Maven. Choose Maven build tool. Which programming language we want to use? Java. How many options you have? Multiple. Packaging you have. Packaging. We have jar, comma, var. Choose jar. Select jar. Select Maven. Select jar here. Programming Java. There are multiple options. Here if you see, Java, Kotlin, Groovy. You have Java, Kotlin, Groovy. Choose or select Java. Why? Because we are working in Java. As we are a Java developer, as we are going to code in Java only, choose Java. Packaging jar or var. Jar is enough. Select jar. Even for web application. I am developing a web application, sir. No problem. Select jar. Maybe you are aware of the web archive file. For web applications, web archive used not required in Spring Boot. Jar is enough. Select jar even for web applications. Because you have built-in Tomcat. Embedded Tomcat. You have embedded Tomcat, so don't worry, choose jar. What next? Java version 17 and next. As this is new version, right? Java version. It will always update. Okay, it will always recommend new version only. It won't allow you older versions. 17, 21, or 23. 17 is the latest version. Choose 17. Sir, what if I go with old versions? Then you should choose Spring or old version. So always it is recommended to use new versions only. 17 or latest. Select 17 or latest. 17 or latest. Good. What next? Select project required options. Okay, I chose all these options, sir. What next? After I choose all these options, step 3. Step 3. Click on next button. Click on next button. And finish. Click on next and finish. Here you have a lot of options to choose. Artificial intelligence options, developer tools, Google Cloud, web options, SQL options. These are our options that we choose based on our project. Here have options. Let me take screenshot of it. Step through. Select required dependencies. Select required dependencies. What dependencies I should select, sir? First, if you want to work on core module, if you work on only core module, no need to select anything. No dependency selection. No dependency selection is required. Nothing need to select here. If you want to work on core module, no dependency selection is required. By default, one dependency will come. I'll show you that. If you want to work on web or REST, if you work on web or REST, select web module. select web dependency. If you want to work on JDBC, simple, select JDBC dependency. If you want to use JPA, select data JPA. Like this, you have a lot of options, enormous options, many options you have. You have so many options to choose. We will go through each later. So select required dependencies. I wanted to work on Spring core module. What I need to do? No dependency selection is required. Good. Just click on next button and finish it. Just click on finish. I am creating simple Spring core application. That's it. Click on finish button. Just click on finish. Bus. Just click on finish button. That's it. Project creation started. Project creation started. Okay, project created. Project created. You see here, import getting started. Progress you see, right? Let it complete, okay? It need to complete 100%. It need to complete 100%. Initializing and importing your Java libraries. As this is a Maven project, you can see POM file here. This POM file will download all the jar files or libraries required to your Spring Boot project. Okay. So once everything done, see here, all is done. Now here, nothing is in progress. Now good. Now to start your application. So if you see your project, mainly you need to see once your project created, right, you should here and verify whether this project created these files or not. Okay. I'm taking screenshot of it. What I need to understand, sir, from this one, I'll describe here. So this section is for your Java class. And the next section is for your configuration files. If you see source main Java, there you will write all your Java classes. Second section is for your configuration files. Third section is for your testing library. And here you can see your POM file. In case extra dependencies I want to add, sir, I need them. Okay, you go here and add them. So here in this section, what we will do, we will add, if you see first we have main method class. So demo.application.java is a main method class. You know, right, why we use main method class? To start our application, always we use this application, right? This is the starter. We call it as starter application class, which contains main method. Application starter. You can call it as application starter also. Application starter. From here, application will start. Like a main button, main switch for your entire application. And remaining classes, whichever classes you want to write, you should write inside this package. Sir, I want to write so many other classes. So you can choose this package. Inside this package, you can create a package, or I can call sub package, and create classes. Create sub package and create whatever number of classes you want for your application. Sir, I have a lot of controller services, DAOs, models, DTOs, utilities. Where should I write them? Create a number of sub packages which you want. Create sub packages. You can create a web package. Who will stop you? You can create service package. You can create a DAOs package. You can create a DTOs package, entity package, utilities package. Depending on number of class, one can create any number of packages. It's up to you. Nobody will stop you. But all should be sub package under this main package. All this, why sir, I can create a naming convention. No, don't do that. While creating project itself, we choose this is our ICSA.cb customer banking. So inside this package only you need to put your classes. What is the problem, sir, if I don't put in this package? There are a lot of problems to discuss because we are in microservices world. Following package names also very important. Okay. Now, what about this? I see properties. What I do here in this properties file, all required configurations will be put. This is configuration file. Configuration file. What I can do, sir, in this file, JDBC connection properties, JDBC connection properties, anything. I'm just giving example. Sir, I have mail configuration. You can put mail configuration properties here. What not? Anything. Sir, I'm using JPA properties. I'm just a few examples here. Let's you can add all your required properties here in this configuration. This is very important file. And port numbers. While using web application, we configure port numbers. Many things. Mainly configure. Okay, here lot of configurations we will do. Lot of environment configurations. Like you might heard, right? Not only development, after development we go to SIT, UAT, production, co-op. Like this, you may have lot of environments. All that environment configurations we do here, either by using properties file or YML files. There are multiple options we have. In real-time projects, you will see both properties or YMLs. Mostly YMLs we use. Okay. You can, so I'm not comfortable in YML, I'm comfortable in properties. That is fine. You can configure properties file, YML also support. Or project recommended YML if it is, you can create properties, you can convert it. This I support convert. So properties shows. Fine. What about this? What should I need? This is a testing starter class. This is testing starter. JUnit sample class. JUnit sample class. This is JUnit sample class. Well, just like that they given. If you want, you can use this. The same you can use for your classes to create testing. To create testing for your classes, you can use this for all your classes. If JUnit is mandatory, generally it is mandatory. Okay, JUnit is mandatory for some projects when projects are in hurry state. If they don't really care about JUnit, they don't write it. Okay, maybe 50-50 chances. Few projects recommends to have JUnits. Few projects they don't care. They don't write. If you want to write JUnits, you should write it for your classes. You need to write JUnits here. So you can write JUnit for all your classes. That is not mandatory. Not mandatory to write. Depending on your requirement, you can. Okay. What about form file? It is a Maven configuration file. This is Maven configuration file. This is Maven descriptor or configuration, whatever you call Maven file. This is for Maven dependencies. Here we will add Maven dependencies, Java version, build repository. This is very important. In real time, while using, we configure. Generally, it is Maven repository. In real time, we use Artifactory. Artifactory repositories we use. which is specific to that particular company. Build repository or artifactory. Company will provide you an artifactor. That link we configure here. This is very important. Sir, like in my machine, it is not working. In office machine, why sir? Some dependencies are not downloading. Means in office machines, they may not allow public repository. Public Maven, they may not allow. Public is Maven. So instead of public, private artifactory repositories, they might use. So that artifactory you should configure in POM file. And sir, Java version, you can choose from there. I want to update Java version, go there and update it. If it supports by your Spring. If not, you need not to touch. But if you want to verify which Java version, you can see here, Java version, it is highlighted, Java 17. Immediately, if you want to understand what is the Java version, here you can go and see. It will show you which Java version this project is using. So like this, the project will be generated. Like this, the project will be generated. What shall I do, sir, next? Okay, clearly explained here how project will be created and what all parameters you have there. So what should I do next? Nothing. If you want to start, go here. As I said, this is the main method class, right? Just open your Java class. Right click, go to run as. Here you have lot of options. Server, not required. Java application, this is one option. Spring Boot app, this is another option. Choose Java application. Yes. Finally, it started. You can see the application got started when you run on. You can see this log is printed. Started Spring Boot application. Okay, let me take a screenshot. So you can see in this, what is it, sir? It is showing something Spring. It is looking little different. What is it? We call it as banner. This is Spring Boot banner, changeable. We can modify if you want. This is modifiable. We can modify if you want. This banner. Sir, I want to put my application name. I want to change colors. You can change. You can play with this banner. Okay, but not important. Okay, this is not important. And you can see version. When you run your application, you can see version also. In which version it is running. Spring Boot version. You can understand from this which version I am running in. And application is perfectly started or not, how I can understand. If you don't see any errors, without errors, if you see started, you will be seeing one message started. Then you can understand application successfully started. Okay, when you see this is started message, right? Then it is good. When it is started, it is good. Which step we are in? Step number step number 4. Go to application starter and run it. Bus, you will see below output. That's where we are done. We are done with our application creation and execution. Is it different for microservice applications or web applications or some job related applications? Means nothing. For every application, this is the same thing. Whatever you learned today, right? The same thing you do for every application. Additionally, we add libraries, as I said here, right? You will be adding libraries, that's it. Otherwise, creation of project and execution is same. Creation of project and execution is same. Are you guys clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. So as I said, right, I already shared with you. Please download JDK and this STS. I shared it in the chat already here. I shared it in the chat. Please go there and download them. Please go to these links and download them. And I would like to ask you to I'm sharing my number, okay? You can ping me on this number, okay? WhatsApp number. I'll add you in a group. I just shared one number, 9182662482. You just ping me on that number. I'll add you in WhatsApp group. Okay. So daily communication, this materials, video links, everything I'll be sharing with you. Okay. So first system setup and sample project creation is done. Sample project creation. So we understand using Eclipse, not Eclipse, STS, we can create as mentioned in document. Okay, I'll be sharing you these documents also. I'll be sharing you these documents also. So basically what you will deliver, sir, means complete Spring Boot and microservices. Complete Spring Boot and microservices, daily 1 hour 8 to 9. Okay, Monday to Friday. Okay, for next 1.5 month. Okay, for next 1.5 month. This course will continue. Okay, hope you understand, right? Step by step. Once again, I'll I'll show you. First, once you install STS, create starter project, go to File, New, Spring Starter Project. Then step 2, select MAVEN build option, packaging jar, programming language Java, and version 17 or any latest. Then next click on finish button. Just click next and finish button and select required dependencies if you want. For now, not required. You just click on finish button, and to make you understand what we'll do here, this is application starter class. To start your application, it is useful. And in this package, you can create all your required classes. And this is the configuration file. Along with this configuration file, you can create another configuration files also here. What we will configure in that file, your JDBC connection properties, mail configurations, anything as such, right? JPA properties, anything you can configure here. And JUnits. This package, test package, source test Java will contain your JUnit classes. And POM file contains your Maven dependencies and repository configuration and Java versions. Generally, in real time, we change this repository from Maven to Artifactory. We change. That's it. Okay. Then you can go to your main method and start it. Go to application starter. Go to application starter and run it. Run it as a Java application. That's it. Run it as a Java application. Bas, your application is up, and you can observe here the Spring banner and the version, and finally whether it is started or not, you can understand here. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. From tomorrow, I'll show you Spring core concepts. As we understand how to create this application, we will discuss Spring core concepts. Slowly, we'll jump into how to write classes here, how to write classes, how to do configurations, how to write JUnits, how to add more configurations,